Dallas as good as you played them today?
Yeah, we scrambled for about 20 hours, calling probably 25 programs, trying to get someone that not only had this weekend open, but they also needed a game. You have a max number of games that you can play, so you can't just throw a game in there. And so we were very thankful to find UNT Dallas that were willing to come today. They've been in finals all week, just like our program. And so really appreciative to Coach Belcher for bringing his team here. And he was excited to have a game this weekend as well.
So you guys really took off in the second quarter. So what were your thoughts in general about the first half and then how you guys were able to take off in the second quarter?
I think we started the game really well. We had really easy open looks, knocked shots down. They came out after the timeout and they were ready to play, and it took us a little while to kind of get our composure back, but really proud of how our team responded in the second quarter. We really raised the intensity level of our defense, forcing them into some turnovers up the floor, which allowed us to get some uncontested shots in transition. So transition buckets really helped us build the lead in the second quarter.
You just touched on defense and transition. So over the past few games, you guys have really been using defense and turning it into really strong offense. So what are your thoughts on the defense and transition and how you guys have been doing that, and how do you hope to even improve it?
Yeah, I think it's really important that you try to improve day by day, week by week, and our players, I think, are starting to get a little bit more serious about defense. And it's really fun, if you get defensive stops or you force turnovers and you're able to score in transition. And that's one thing that we want to do offensively. We want to score early in the shot clock, so those defensive stops are really important. If you allow the other team to score, they get to set their defense up, and then you're going to run offense. And so I think our players are starting to understand how we can score in primary break a little bit easier after we force turnovers, or just get the rebound and go.
So Jamie and both Maddie had really good games today. So what are your thoughts on their performances today?
Jamie is just a really good scoring threat for us. She scores at every level. She's got a really nice shot from the three-point line, the elbow. She can score off drives. She's becoming a good scoring option for us. We run a lot of sets to try to get the ball in her hands. She does a really good job setting screens and popping for shots. I thought today she was pretty intentional about going after rebounds as well, and that's really good to see. We need more help from our 4s and 5s rebounding right now. I think our guards are kind of our dominant rebounders, which is a good thing, and the post players are starting to join that party, and we appreciate it. Maddie's playing so well right now. I think that her success is coming from just being really selfless, looking for extra passes, and not trying to force things, just allowing the offense to come back to her. And Maddie's been one of our most consistent rebounders this season, and we like for our guards to get in there and mix it up and get their hands on rebounds. So Jamie and Maddie both had really good games. They had complimentary teammates around them at all times today too, and so good team victory today.
So this was y'all's first game in 9 days. Took a break during finals week. So how did it feel to get back on the floor and get a win like this after 9 days of rest after playing Nichols?
First, to address the finals, our players are really serious students, and they want to excel in the classroom. And you could tell in some of our practices this week that brain cells were kind of overworked, and we weren't very sharp in some of our practices. And I really attribute that to our players spending so much time, preparing for final exams, projects. I looked over our players' schedule for this week, and we took 50 final exams or had big projects due this week. I mean, that's a lot for our team, and so we're anxiously awaiting their grades. I think we had a really good semester. So it was important for us to be able to finish strong in the classroom, then kind of purge all of that to learn a scouting report and a pretty quick turnaround to get ready for this game. But it was good to get on the court. This time of the year, we don't want to just practice for the sake of practicing. We want to practice to get ready for games. So really fun to have a game today.
Yeah, great. That's awesome.
As a team, I think we're always prepared to compete, and we want to compete against different competition other than ourselves. We've been playing against ourselves for so long, and it's just fun to go out against different competition, like I said, and I think we were prepared for that. And I like how we start games. We're very aggressive, and we had a little struggle towards the end of the first quarter, but we came out and fixed it. Like we know what we do wrong, and we're able to fix it, so I like that.
You guys, again, having a couple really strong defensive performances and a lot of that defense turning into really good offense. So what has been the team's mindset and sort of your mindset with defense?
We know our offense will come eventually, but where we lack is when our defense struggles and then our offense struggles. I think we're starting to realize that the more we want our offense, we have to play better defense and get stops, and then our offense will follow.
Well, yeah, let's just do quickly, how important was it to play the game today? I think there were some questions, and I remember talking to Maddie a little bit yesterday. She said, we got to make sure we get the game.
Yeah.
Otherwise we go a couple of weeks without playing. How important was it?
Yeah, I think it was very important. Like I said, we go against each other every day in practice, and so we're super hungry all the time just to play different competitions. So whoever comes in this gym, we're ready to play.
Talk about your post player, Sarah Griswold, a little bit.
She's a stud.
She just kind of goes under the radar. Yeah. Consistent inside. How important has she been for you?
Yeah, Maddie calls her the silent assassin. She just does the dirty work. She knows what she needs to do, and she executes perfectly. I mean, when you need help, she's always in the right spot. Like, she's just that type of person.
Just generally, I think we came out really strong. That's one of our biggest goals, is to come out and start every game really strong, kind of punch everybody in the mouth and set our tone first off. And so I think we did a really, really good job of that. Similar to what Jamie said, we kind of let go a little bit in the first quarter, got a little comfortable. One thing I love about this team is the maturity, and so we've let that happen a couple games before, and we just somehow figure out how to like turn it around really quick and get the energy back on our side. And so that's one thing that I'm really proud of our team for. Our bench is really loud and definitely helps us out defensively and offensively as well, repeating plays and calling out defenses. And so just a really good team win today.
Today you had your ball, you were throwing the ball everywhere. You had, I think, 6-7 assists, was it? 6 assists. So how do you kind of see the court? Like, how are you able to see a couple of those passes that you made? Because you made some pretty good passes.
My teammates are just always in the right spot. That's really it. They're always working hard early. We talk about early and often, talk early and often, communicate early and often, move early and often, and they're always working hard to put themselves in positions for me to be able to give them the ball, and kudos to them for making the shot. Like, I always appreciate that, and I just get really hyped to be able to give them the ball as well, because I want everybody to score.
Yeah, and then again, recently, defense has been turning into strong offense for you guys. So how has defense really affected y'all's performance?
You know, this is like the best defensive team I think I've been a part of since I've been to ACU. So I think it just comes with maturity. We have a lot of years on the basketball court, like when we're all out there, and so it definitely makes a difference when you have 5 people out there knowing where we're going to be and just being smart about what position they're going to be in, who's in help, who's going to go help the helper. And so it's definitely been a lot of fun to turn steals into points.
And then one last thing for me, in general, it just looks like you and your team and the coaches just all have fun together. So what is it like being in that environment, being with the team that you have just a really good time being with?
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, this is the best team that I've been a part of since I've been here. Like, we hang out together outside the court, like, all the time. It's just, we really love each other. Like, it's genuine. We always want each other to succeed, and when you want each other to succeed and everywhere, like, it definitely just comes and helps out, like, on the court as well. And so it's just really, like, we really are a family, in my opinion. Like, I think I'll talk to them forever, this group. So it's just, we just love each other.
That's all I have for now.
The total number for your team today was 23 assists to just 3 turnovers. So that's
I had one of those.
ratio.
Darn it.
It's pretty good. When you think your team go 23 assists to just the 3 turnovers, though, how important is sharing the ball? How good is this team at sharing the ball?
It's easy to share the ball when everybody's knocking down shots, you know? So it's definitely, and it's something we have to do because obviously we're a prolific 3-point shooting team. And so moving the ball around is what gets us open, making defenses move and make them scramble a little bit, and so they can't just stay in one spot. And so our team does a really, really good job of that. We have a really good offense that allows us to get to spots on the court, to be able to get other people open, draw help defenders and stuff. And so 23 assists is something that we are capable of all the time, especially when we're knocking down shots. So great job for everybody making shots.
You mentioned earlier that when something goes wrong, this team's able to figure that out a little bit. And then you've also said in the past that some of those close games, maybe last year, you might not have won some of those because of those moments that are in the game. This year, you seem to be turning those moments around, winning the game anyway. What have you noticed this year as opposed to that, just the way this team's able to figure out tough situations?
This team just stays so even-keeled. Like, we never get rattled ever. Like, there'll be a couple possessions where it's like, oh my gosh, like they just scored back to back, and we didn't have very good offense to like counteract that. But this team is very good. When we go into a media timeout or Coach Goodenough calls a timeout, like, we all sit down, we talk about what's been happening, and we just somehow come out and figure out how to make it work. And so that's like my favorite part about the game. It's not really fun to just always have something going right. When things go bad, it's like, how can we fix it too? And so it's been, and everybody's very responsive and easy to talk to when it comes to that stuff when we talk through it. So nobody ever gets attitudes or anything. So it's very easy to figure out how to come back and regain the energy and regain the momentum.
Good job, Penny.
Thanks. Thanks, guys.